Welcome everybody, my name is Nick and this is episode 6 of the Disc Golf Show for the 2026 season. As always, we wanted to give a shout out to our supporters of the show, in first being our local pro shop, Final 9 Sports. They have 2 locations, one in Orangevale and one in Rocklin, California. Always go support your local pro shop. However, if you're unable to do so or find the equipment or products that you're looking for at your local pro shop, we've got the fix, and that is Disc Golf Deals USA. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/disc golf show, you can save 10% off of your order. Some exclusions do apply, usually being brand new mold releases and such, but everything else on there, save that 10%, go save some money. All right, jumping in, you do know that we like to go start with good news. It's player rating update day. That could be good or bad for you. But outside of that, let us know if your rating did go up or down, by how much, down in the comments below. Outside of that, good news. Big shout out to Oklahoma Disc Golf Hall of Fame inductees. We're going to run through these really quick. Carl Rogers, Ron Baer, Mark Vasicek, Avery Jenkins, Kevin McCoy, Ron Convers, Jennifer Allen, Joe Rotan, and Mike Treat. Shout out to those guys. Well-deserved being inducted into the Oklahoma Disc Golf Hall of Fame. That's always cool to see. We got some other news on here. There's a lot of little news, but later on in the show, there's more stuff. So we're going to get through some of this quick for you. Hanna Huynh recently posted her new tour vehicle. Looks like it's a Toyota RAV4. So hopefully she'll be safe on the road with that new vehicle. Shout out to her. MVP and Flighty Factory have teamed up to be the presenters of the Big Easy. So this inaugural event at the Pro Tour event down in Louisiana, Jefferson Parish, it's going to be MVP and Flighty Factory stepping up. So, you know, it looks like MVP is getting more and more involved in the presenting aspect of events. So shout out to them. Memorial Championship recently happened, so we've kind of got an early start on the season. It's not, obviously not the Pro Tour season, but it's still an event that's been in the process for a long time. It's a long-standing event, and the winners, it's like nothing left last year. We're moving forward this year with this event having FPO winner Owen Scoggins and MPO Gannon Buhr. I believe this is his 4th victory there. I'm not sure if it's 4 straight. It might be. But yeah, Memorial Championship winners Scoggins and Buhr. We do have some trailing sponsorship-related athlete news. So some last little bits that have been dropping in here and there. We do know, we do have a few weeks left, or a couple weeks left until the first Pro Tour event. But Rasmus Metsamaa joins Kastaplast. We did have a video, and the links for a lot of this stuff always will be down below. Seppo Paju made a video on his YouTube channel, so go check it out, where he also did it on his socials as well, where he's stating he's parting ways with Prodigy. And he's teased a new project and says that he will be saying more when the time is right, so I'm curious as to what that will be. He did announce that Power Grip is taking over distribution of Prodigy. And yeah, Seppo is a big name in the sport. If you don't know him, you're probably a newer player, but over in Europe and even over here, he came over here back in the early days. So he was very deeply connected to Prodigy, and yeah, he has moved on to something new. We will keep you updated when we learn more about that. We have an update for the Squatch Squad. So you have seen several players, well, not several, have seen some players be dropped or part ways with Squatch, the disc golf bag company. But on their site currently, we do have a few, and I'm going to run through those. That's Heimberg, Katrina Allen, Kat Murch, Bradley Williams, Ellis, Paige Shue. Aderhold is now with Squatch, and because he, he is no longer with Squatch, I believe. Or maybe he is. Anyways, on their website, they still have Aderhold, Handley, Buhr, Dickerson, Ezra Robinson, and Kyle Klein. So I am curious if that will stick, because I know that with a lot of the movement in sponsored players manufacturer-wise, a lot of times their bags change too. So it does make sense that Aderhold is still on there. But I do know some of these players have dropped. But again, we'll update you because currently that is what is on their website. Last news bit is, it's an odd one, guys. For me, it's one where several weeks ago, I don't know how long ago, but somewhat recently, the Pro Tour made posts, and I like these posts, where you get to see the characters, the personalities of the players, and little things about them that you may not find out by just watching them play disc golf and on the course. One of them being books that were recently read or being read by players. So they post their picture and they post a book that they may be currently reading. Luke Humphries actually reposted his picture that was posted by DGPT because they removed it. And he was basically stating that they aren't just standing up to what they post and kind of giving in to pressures of political opinions, ultimately is what it comes down to. And this being Luke's picture had him, and the book posted on his picture was A Revolution of Common Sense, How Donald Trump Stormed Washington and Fought for Western Civilization by Scott Jennings. So Scott Jennings is the author. Personally, I think removing it makes it more of an issue. I mean, if people have a problem just seeing somebody's face, close your eyes. You can't, even in that aspect, whether you like them or not, you could be reading it just to learn more about what you disagree, or maybe things that aren't as bad as you thought, or maybe worse than you thought, depending on your outlook on life. But having the need to kowtow to these people that complain about just seeing something that they disagree with, I am completely against censorship and getting offended by something that you don't agree with. Be offended. That's perfectly fine. You have the right to do that. But then to pitch a fit enough and try to quote unquote cancel people or businesses, I think is ridiculous. Big ups to Luke Humphries for reposting it. I don't know why the Pro Tour gave in and removed it, but for me, I think it's ridiculous that this is even something that had to be addressed by the Pro Tour. For those that brought this up to them, find something better to do with your time. Anyway, guys, that's my view. Whether you agree with it or not, I think it's a silly thing, and I like I said, I congratulate Luke Humphries for standing up for what he believes and what he thinks. Moving on, before we move on to the question of the episode, guys, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button, like, share, notifications, all the goods. It really does help and is much appreciated. Thank you very much. Moving on to disc golf question of the episode. Does your club, reason why I'm bringing this up, actually, let me get through the question first. Does your club have any unique events that they hold? Not just weeklies, not just doubles, any unique events. Ace races, I guess, could be applicable, although those are pretty common. The reason why I bring this up is because this last weekend I recently attended and played in an event that's held by one of our local clubs, Folsom Disc Golf Club. And it was called the Throw Bowl. It's been held or put on many years in a row now by one of my friends, Chris Salcone. And the way that it's structured is unique and it makes it fun. It's a random doubles event, so you get paired up with who you get paired up with. What they did is they actually did it to where they had an A and B pool, so people who are better players, and then you get paired up with somebody who's maybe not as good of a player. And the structure is as follows. If you make a par as a team, you get 3 points, field goal, right? This is obviously held the weekend of Super Bowl, the big game, whatever you want to call it. But a par, if you get a par as a team, it's 3 points. If you get one person makes a birdie, so you throw, you take best throw, and you throw from there. If one of you makes the putt for birdie, it's 6 points. If the other player on the doubles team makes the putt as well, you get that bonus field goal extra point. And I believe ace was worth 8, which is obviously a touchdown plus 2-point conversion. And then in addition to that, if somebody were to ace, the other player would then play out their shot on their own, the second shot. So I don't know, it's just a fun way of doing things a little bit differently and kind of involving other sports in this aspect as well, where it just makes it fun. I think personally, doubles are probably one of the funnest events that you can play. And yeah, let me know. Does your club hold any really uniquely structured rounds, events, or anything like that? Let me know. All right, guys, moving on, gear and equipment. This segment is brought to you as well by Disc Golf Deals USA. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can save 10% off of your entire order. Some exclusions do apply. And this, we have, I'm losing my words today. We had 4 discs that were approved yesterday. And those being Doomsday discs released the Overlord. MVP discs, if you haven't seen, the Stasis was approved, and it's a putt and approach, but it's a puddle top. So if you see the edge, the rim, it's definitely got a dip from the edge of the disc to where it drops down into the center of the flight plate. So if you like those type of discs, it's meant to try to slow the disc down a little more. But yeah, if you're an MVP fan, let me know. There's a company called, I'm calling it Proj.Blk, Proj.Blk is the business name. They had the cloak approved, and it's their first mold for this manufacturer. So check them out. And then Newbie, N-E-W-B, Sim House Custom Discs. This is a 3D printing company. They had the NSH18 Tetrion approved. So go check them out. Now we did have a couple of them. They're back here, these 2 blue ones down at the bottom. 3D printed, and surprisingly enough, very flexible. They did not feel like I thought that they would. So if you are interested in different ways in which discs can be made, go check them out. Again, Newbie Sim House Custom Discs. Recent and upcoming releases, we have several here. Yuli announced that the Captain's Raptor is coming back, and Discraft is releasing it with a new stamp. So they're stamping it. It's called the Captain's Raptor, but it's always referred to as Cap Wrap. So that stamp is going to be listed as Cap Wrap. Retail pre-orders on that opened on the 6th. So those are open, and global release will be on February 27th. So keep your eyes peeled for that. TSA Construct, which is a fairway driver. It's a driver. The flight numbers are as follows: 10, 6, -1, 2. It's going to be returning in 2 new plastics. So if you are a Thought Space Athletics fan and you liked the construct, it will be returning, and it's coming in Aura Soft and Glow. AGL Discs announced the Juniper, which is a disc that they're working on, and it actually is a mold or a combination of 2 different Innova molds, the top being from a J and the bottom being from a Coyote. Now, you know me, Coyote is my favorite disc, period. I love the Coyote. It's an out of production mold, so I am curious as to what this will look like and feel like in hand. It is going to be released in an experimental Alpine Glow plastic, which constitutes the combination of Proto Glow, Regrind Champion Glow, along with some color additives. The expected release on that is going to be March 16th. So AGL, above ground level discs. If you don't know, they're a Northern California company that now Innova manufactures their discs. Gateway announced the prototype called the Scream, and the flight numbers on that are going to be a 13, so distance driver obviously, 5, -0.5, and 2.5. And then last but not least, Meridian Discs announced that there is a marbled Claris Mojave, because it's a premium makeover, so it's premium plastic, that will be coming out February 16th. So shout out to a lot of those smaller manufacturers. Again, shoes are important, and we like to give you some options, and two of those being Ideo Sports and Vessi, depending on your personal taste. They are two different style shoes, but they're both waterproof, pretty lightweight. So go check them out if you are looking for some new shoes. Both of them have low top and high top versions. And yeah, go check them out. ideosports.com or, of course, Vessi. As for upcoming events, guys, we have a few here. One of them is kind of like not necessarily a tournament, but it's an event. We have a couple of those. February 15th, so very soon here, Katrina Allen announced that she has a meet and greet or question and answers event at Champions Point Disc Golf Course in Claremont, Florida. So if you're curious about that, I think she said it starts around 11 or 10, something like that. But you can check her socials to get a little more information. She recently posted that. The first event of the Pro Tour, February 27th to March 1st, is the 2026 Supreme Flight Open held in Brooksville, Florida. And then beginning of March, we have the second expo. So Disc South, the location will be Marriott Dallas Allen Hotel, Waters Creek Convention Center in Allen, Texas. So if you are down that way, Disc East was a success, and if you weren't able to make it there, or even if you were, go check out Disc South. March 13th to 15th, again, we have Flight Factory and MVP Open as the presenting sponsors of the 2026 DGPT Big Easy Open in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. Super excited about that. And then more local, again, I did want to shout these out. On March 19th, we have a disc golf night at Golden One Center, which is where the Sacramento Kings basketball NBA team plays. And they will be playing against the 76ers, and that is in Sacramento, California. If you are in the area, if you do want to support this like first run at seeing if there's any interest from the disc golf community and maybe growing this into something larger as the time passes in future years, Disc Golf Night, this is a good start. So again, March 19th, we'll have the link down below. I'll try to, I share it on my socials as well, but yeah, if you're in the area, check that out. The Kings vs 76ers event. You get a free hat, and after the game, you get to go down onto the court and shoot a free throw. How often do you get to shoot anything on an NBA court? Check that out. Also, March 29th, there is a fundraiser tournament called Little Oaks Fundraiser Tournament. It is held at Sacramento Adventist Academy in Carmichael, California. They are connected to a business, a company called Maranatha, which goes and helps build dental buildings and medical buildings in underserved places. They do missions and stuff like that. So if you want to support that, it's going to be a doubles event. Bring your own partner. I think the winner, or it's either going to be a winner item or a raffle item. It might be probably a raffle. A guitar. A straight up guitar. It's sick. The wood shop teacher at that place teaches kids how to build their own guitars. So that is very cool. March 29th, Little Oaks fundraiser. You can see that on Disc Golf Scene in Carmichael, California at Sacramento Adventist Canopy. This brings us to the mailbag, guys, where we like to give you some items, some products, as well as videos to check out and see if you can use them or consume the media. So we'll run through these. We actually have a few of these. This is what I was talking about earlier. First being TakaGo, or TakaGo, Taka, I'm guessing. Pink Lemon Ace. They are actually a supporter or presenter of Disc South. So you'll if you go there, you'll see them. It's a water additive, so it's an energy drink additive for energy on the go. It is made for disc golfers, and some of the things that are important: it's all natural, it's non-GMO, it's vegan, no sugar added, and it's sweetened with stevia. They are, again, presenting sponsor of Disc South, and link down below, drink Taka, TAKA.com. A couple more digital type products or items, or I don't know what you want to call it. PDGA Ratings Tracker. So this is a add-on basically for checking your PDGA, and it's pretty cool. So you can search any PDGA number. It has up-to-date tracking of your rating based on your tournament rounds, and it analyzes your rounds and calculates when your projected rating will be, what your projected rating will be. So it's an app that you can stay basically up to date daily, right after your rounds or tournaments that are uploaded into PDGA, where you can kind of foresee what your rating will be in the future. So you don't have to wait till the first or second Tuesday of the month to see it change. You can kind of see, they use a lot of the data where they tell you, okay, these are the items that are worth double points. These are your rounds that'll be dropping off soon. And it gives you a current proposed rating on what it will end up being when PDGA does do those rating updates like they did today. Go check it out. Link will be down below. Moving on, we also have a browser extension. It's called the PDGA Profiler. It's by Viren Tutin. He added it because he didn't like having to click on everybody's name, or if you're going through people's names for stats or trying to figure things out, you don't have to click on their name to see a bunch of stuff, their generic information or general information. So he has it available for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. So what it does is when you're on the player page on PDGA, if you just hover over the name, if you've added this browser extension, if you hover over the name, it'll pull up a little quick snapshot of the player's information. It's small, it's neat. I like those little things where you don't have to, again, click into the person's page, back out, all that stuff. If you're just looking for some generic information on that player, this is a cool little extension you can add on via, again, Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. He's also asked him for feedback. Maybe there's some other items that you'd want to see in that snapshot. So check that out. As for the video, community video that I'm going to suggest, I'm a big fan of MKBHD. If you don't know who that is, that's Marquez Brownlee. He does a lot of reviews for all kinds of electronics, whether it be electric cars. That's kind of one of his newer items, but phones are what he started off with, computers, any of those items, check it out. But he recently had a video called A Year in the Life of MKBHD, which covers all of 2025 for him. And the reason why I bring this up is because if you don't know John Rotan, he is a disc golfer, and he's on the MKBHD team, as well as there's a couple of other guys on there, Andrew, and then I believe there's somebody else that play disc golf. And again, I just found it cool because in the B-roll, there's some discs on the table. So It's something small. It's a longer video. If you want to run through it, that's fine. I have the link down below. But I do like to shout that out when I see those little things kind of in the background or here and there that you don't really expect to see disc golf in. And yeah, that's all. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we like to give you some options and ways to save money. So first, if you're looking for a new bag and you've heard of Upper Park Disc Golf, if you go there, use code DiscGolfShow, you can save some money there. Again, thank you to Disc Golf Deals USA. Go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow. Save 10% off your entire order. Some exclusions do apply, but you're looking at bags, baskets, carts, any of those things, 10% adds up when you're spending some good money. And then lastly, but not least, thank you, Final Nine, our main sponsor. If you are in the Northern California, Sacramento area, go check their 2 locations, one in Orangevale and one in Rocklin. Always go support local. And last, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, notifications, all the goods. And yeah, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.